welcome to the CryoCeo podcast. We're coming to you live from Cryocon 2024 here in Plano, Texas. I am so excited. I say I'm always excited about interviewing people with podcasts, but you know what? This one I'm very excited because these are my people, and being in Florida originally and getting to work with other companies in Florida, one of the big things that we talk about in our industry is nobody's competition. Everybody's your family. You got to work with each other, learn from each other. What something's working for somebody else is not working for you, or whatever, vice versa. You can try different things like that. So I'm truly blessed to have Paul and Terri Hooten here on our podcast with Ultra Cryotherapy Recovery, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Ultra Cryo and Recovery.
Ultra Cryo and Recovery. See, look at that. You said it wrong. But you know what? I admit my faults. But I want to go ahead and introduce you guys to Paul and Terri. Paul, tell us who you are a little bit, my friend.
Paul Hooten, born in Lakeland, Florida, raised in the Central Florida area. Joined the Marines shortly after that. Hoorah, yeah. And Semper Fi. And got into sales early in my career doing door-to-door alarm systems, and moved my way up through commercial printing, then to the healthcare field, which I ended up being a VP of sales, business development. So learned a lot about corporate America, and so that's what I bring to the table. So met Terri, and she had a gym, and we worked together to build that up really well, and then we decided to start a business together, and that was Ultra Cryo and Recovery. We did that in September of 2019, and it has been a blessing. It has been a lot of fun.
Awesome. And Terri, let us know who you are.
Well, for me, I'm back here in Texas, my home grounds. I was born in El Paso, so I love being in Texas almost as much as I love being at Cryocon. As Paul said, started with a gym. Passion, just an absolute passion. It wasn't about money. And then we grew, we met each other. I did tell him, I'll tell you a funny story. When I began to date him, he was going to a global gym. Mine was not. And I told him pretty quickly that if he was going to be my boyfriend, he could not stay at that gym. So quickly had to move him to my side of the world. And quickly he realized that it was just a passion and kind of a hobby, and helped me grow that out of that into a bigger business. And then we started a business together, and I'm thankful he entrusted me enough to do that while he handled his other job. And we were fortunate enough to sell the gym in May to make Ultra Cryo and Recovery our top priority, and of which it is, and it is growing steadily, and honestly couldn't be what it is without all these fabulous people.
You hit on a key word there that, a lot of people is you made that your top priority. We see a lot of business owners out there, everybody, when we start a business, some of us, we still have to have a job to have that income coming in, but we just don't know when to phase that out and phase into our normal standard, our passion that we're working on. So you brought on a key word there about that. But before I touch on to that, tell us about the services you have to offer right now. Tell us what you started off with and now where you're at.
So we started off with a whole body cryo chamber, compression therapy. We did a menagerie of stuff. We were one of those that it was like, pick 1,000 things. We did cupping, we did massage guns, we did kinesiology taping. What else did we have in
TENS unit.
Yeah, TENS units, you name it. We had all of these lovely jewels. And then when we came to Cryocon, we added the infrared sauna to it. So we were in 700 square feet, of which every square inch was being used with something. And so we started out that way, just kind of simple. The athletes, wellness and recovery, trying to take them to the next level. That was our top goal. That was our focus. And we tried to make that what we do. Having a gym, it just kind of made sense.
And then we met 2021, right?
Correct.
Yeah, we met in 2021, and then we sat down and talked, and we said, hey, let's talk about IV therapy.
Yes.
And we had a few meetings at both of our locations and stuff like that, and man, have you guys taken that to another level? I mean, seriously, you put me to shame. But no, but no,
We learned from the best, sir.
I appreciate that.
And that's what I'm going to say. So that's what it's one of our many blessings is that we are able to meet someone like you and take what you share with us and go and run with it.
Yeah, and you definitely ran with it.
So you guys are great models for us, and that's what industry needs is models who are willing to share the experience with the newcomers to say, this is where I'm at, this is how you do it.
Yep.
And then that's a great foundation that we get. And then we can take our ideas and go. So we don't have to reinvent the wheel. Yep. And it was very instrumental in you helping us with that.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Wasn't without about 1,000 phone calls and text messages from me
Yeah.
going, Fernando, tell me again what that was.
And, it was funny.
I sent you a PDF, girl.
I'm like, yeah, PDF, and then I'm like, I'll just call you and be like, hey, let's talk.
Yes.
Like, really? I'm like, yeah, why not? I'm available. Let's do that. Because I'm not the best texter, I'll be honest.
Me either.
Texting, I'm not gonna lie. And it's like no offense with anybody. I'm just like, hey, how you doing? And they're like,
So
what's
much
wrong?
easier.
You could just send me a text. I'm like, I hate texting. but anyways, all right. Well then, and then tell us about your services that you have. Do you like combo stuff?
We do.
Yeah. So like, give us some ideas.
We do.
So people understand.
Yeah. So we do a combination of everything. We believe in the surprise and delight factor. So they come in for whole body cryotherapy. We're going to give them something else that's going to help with whatever their ailments are. We do a quick consultation with them, try to find out, dig deep a little bit, find out what's going on with them, how we can best help them. That first impression is the most important. Yeah. So when we do that, we're going to add that, Paul's favorite word, surprise and delight. Yeah. And so we'll add that compression therapy. If they're having a lower back issue at the same time, they're going to be in leg compression. We're going to put on that TENS unit, kind of add a few modalities to the process. By the time they leave there, they're just so thankful for everything that we've done. It's an easy conversion into that membership package, So you always want to give them the very best, and we believe in giving them more than what they expected.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, and we've morphed into obviously the aesthetic side.
Yep.
And so with that,
which a lot of us are doing.
Yeah,
yes,
and it's really been beneficial to us, but also the clientele as well. Mm-hmm. And so we're offering them some innovative ways to slim their bodies to feel better in their own skin. But the package and the equipment that we put together is to support the outcome. Yeah. So we're outcome driven. So you start off with cryo slimming, and then you get a infrared sauna to clean out the lymphatic drainage. Mm-hmm. You add the EMS to tighten the skin, to build the muscle. You start putting services around it that's going to incorporate change for the outcome of the client. And that's what we do. We want outcomes. We want to give them the best opportunity they can to get the outcomes that they desire.
Yep.
Well,
absolutely.
And let's face it, the wellness side of it goes hand in hand with it, because all of those clients have arthritis, they have, inflammatory, autoimmune deficiencies, all sorts of things, sleep problems, which that chamber helps with. So not only is it helping with the slimming process, but it's also helping with those other factors that they have going in on their life. So we want them to overall feel better. Yes. So it just works hand in hand.
Yep. Yeah, and basically, where you guys are at is amazing, but let's talk about hurdles. That's what a lot of people need to know, because like I said, we're broadcasting to people who are thinking about getting into the industry, like how we all started.
Sure.
Some of them have been in the industry and thinking about getting out because they don't know what else to do. They don't know marketing. Unfortunately, there's been some marketing companies out there that have taken advantage of a lot of us out there. I was one of them. I keep, and that's why we trust certain individuals for staying,
yes.
and we all work with each other. So let's talk about some of the hurdles that you guys went through and overcame.
Yes. Yeah, so some of the biggest hurdles that we had right out of the gate was knowledge. Who do we talk to? So whenever we bought from the manufacturer, there wasn't a lot of support to help you to do any of that. Yeah. We didn't know that we were going to need a marketing team to help get the leads in. We just thought with the gym it would just cross over, and it did for a little bit, but it wasn't enough to sustain it. Yeah. So you had to learn marketing, you had to learn the laws, you had to educate the community. And we had to go secure some loans. We had to run up credit card bills. We had to take stuff out of our savings. And so I tell Terry, our number 2 things is hiring people and getting leads.
Yeah.
That's something that we will have to have hurdles on probably while we're in existence.
Yeah.
And that's our biggest 2 hurdles. But yeah, there are plenty of hurdles for sure.
And especially like one of the hurdles is staff.
1,000%.
I mean, not to knock any of our staff, but we've got staff. I'm like, I've got one person who's been with us for 6 years, and everybody else has been with 2 or 3 years with us. So kind of a thing. I had at one point 18 employees. Now we're just down to 5 total in the office because I was like, you know what? Sorry, got to cut back, but we got to make sure that we're doing this the right way. Right. I had multiple locations. I just have one now. You guys have multiple locations, and let's talk about how to overcome sometimes with issues with staff. What's a good way to do it so people understand it's going to happen. You're going to run into a staff member that you're not going to get along with, or they're just not going to listen to what you're asking them to do.
Yeah. So, our biggest process with that, and for me, it was a big learning experience because in the gym and in everything I do, I lead with my heart. And so when you do that, that will get you in trouble. So you do have to learn to separate business from personal. Yeah. And I would interview and I would just like, oh my gosh, I love her so much. She really needs this. We're going to be so good for her. Yeah. And then they interview great. And then the person that shows up on the job is like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Like, this is not who I interviewed. No. And then all this other staff is complaining, going, she just wants to stand back and not do anything. So we've tried to educate ourselves. Lars, his hiring, I do that every single time. I'm so disappointed he didn't do it this time because I always gather nuggets. The
Mbute effect or something like that? You call
yes,
it?
Yes. And he's so good at it. And the first time I took it, I went, man, I am a terrible hiring employer. I'm awful. And so I've learned to tweak it. Paul helps me constantly. I mean, he's just like, because he's so corporate minded, and I'm so. This is so much fun.
Yeah, you got the emotional feel.
Everybody needs to just be happy, and that's not life.
Yep.
And so, in doing that, I have had to learn that I have to be slower to hire. We do a shadowing process first that is on them to come in and be willing to shadow with us for an hour to 2 hours. To see, to ask questions. They shadow with different staff members that we have within our facilities, the different positions that we offer, and then see if they click personally.
Yeah.
I mean, it's important. I always tell them it's just as important to me that you feel like you're going to fit in with us as we think you'll fit in.
Yeah.
And so saying all of that, you pretty much quickly if they're not going to make it or not. Yeah. And I've had some of them go, you know what, I really appreciate the opportunity, but I just don't see myself fitting in there. And that's I'm very thankful for those. Yeah. And then I'm learning to let them go sooner when it's not. We have a 30, 60, 90-day plan with this. And, that's for those that don't have a plan and are trying to hire more or trying to get started. You need to designate those times. You need to designate, as Paul says, put it on your calendar. It's time for that 30-day. Reevaluate the position, what's going good, what's not going so good, so that you have documentation. And so when it comes time to go, this just isn't working for either of us, they're not shocked.
Right.
Even though they will pretend they are. They're not shocked. And then it just gives a better pathway to letting them go. And I'm doing better.
Yeah, and some of so there's a book out there called Talk Grading. It talks about how to continue to level up. So we do that as well. And then our team, our leaders lead from the 1-minute manager style.
Okay.
Where you catch them doing something right, you catch them doing something wrong, you remodel it for them, make sure that they know how to do it, and then you check back with them. On the third time, if they're still not doing it after they said they know how to do it, and obviously it's a mindset that they're just not going to do it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that they're the wrong person, they're just the wrong person for that job.
Right.
And so you have to be able to move forward. So she's more emotional about it, and that's fine. That's why we do well together. We have 2 different sides, but corporately you have to measure it because they stay too long, they cause issues, and it ends up messing up the flow and the culture.
Right. Right. So, man, you guys have so much information now. Let's go. Okay, so for people understand, what we're talking about here with success. And it doesn't matter where you're located at. You guys are located in Auburndale, Florida.
Yes.
What's the population in Auburndale?
17,000.
17,000.
17,000.
Okay. And what was the biggest grossing month you've had so far?
Per month or per year?
Just for the month.
For the month?
Well, you went to okay, let me backtrack.
Okay.
You go to Cryocon 2022, I believe it was. We get all these new things. We find out about Cherry. We find out about all these other.
We love
options.
Cherry.
We love Cherry. Yeah,
We love
we
Cherry.
all love
Little
Cherry.
plug for Cherry.
Cherry right there. By
Cherry,
the way, Cherry. If you like Care Credit, you'll love Cherry.
Yeah.
Yes.
But let's go ahead and talk about that because 17,000. Let's just start off with that. 17,000 people in your town. You guys are hard workers. You're open, 7 days a week?
6 days a week.
6 days a week. 6 days a week. Okay, good. Yep. And then the biggest month you guys had after coming to Cryocon and learning about all the different things and networking and all that. Just 1 month. I just want to know the biggest 1 month.
So our best month before we came to Cryocon was $17,000.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Before.
Our best month right afterwards was
$175,000 for the month.
$175,000.
One location, too. You don't have to have multiples. That was one.
One location.
Yes,
and it's
sir.
because you guys, what was it? You came here, got driven. Tell me.
Yeah.
So first and foremost is God.
God first.
You know,
absolutely.
we have people that travel all over the world to come to our center, and they say, "What's the secret sauce? What's the secret sauce?" So we tell them,
Yeah.
God first. We tithe. We give Him the glory. We minister to people. We love on them, and in that, we hired a marketing team with Salim.
Yeah.
We didn't know anything about that.
And we'll have Celine on here later today.
Yeah, and so Salim, what a great man. He's a godsend to us. He's really helped us a ton. We learned more about the industry and how to put together packages. We didn't know how to do that before. We were trying to do some memberships, some one-offs or whatever, and we worked with Cherry Finance and brought those on. It really was coming here and learning all the things we did not know and meeting people that had the knowledge that we just needed to get. And so we absorbed it. We went home, made plans, and we just grind it out, right?
We did.
10 times. 10
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
The 10 times, the 10X factor you guys put into place. from
And
all
not
the-
even knowing that was a thing.
Yeah.
I mean, we're like, oh, that's a thing.
Yeah.
And so it's not, you can go to a convention.
Yep.
You're going to get out of it what you put into it.
Yep.
And you can write pages and pages of notes. We're actually involved in a breakout this afternoon on what to do now when you go home.
Yeah.
Because we obviously have figured out how to make it work to your advantage when you leave. And so you can write all these pages of notes, but if it stays in that briefcase, if it stays, on your desk, and you never open that up and try to filter through it and find out what can work, what do I need to do now?
Yeah.
What can I do to affect change right now in my business? I mean, we started it on the plane back. We're like whipping out our notes, and he's got a paper, and he goes, okay, top 3 takeaways for you. Well, for me, being in the operations, I'm like, I need this equipment, this equipment, this equipment.
Yep.
I need the shiny objects. And he goes, okay, well, this one can happen. That one cannot happen, And so we filtered through it and found a way. And so you have to do that. You have to sort through, what does my business need right now? If you try to do everything, you're going to still be running that hamster wheel that you've been running on and still going, man, I'm just making no traction. I'm going nowhere. And so you have to sit down and really sort out what's best for me, what's best for my business right now. What do I need to do? Do you have to spend tons of money to make it happen? You do not. You just have to put the time in to make. We didn't have a ton of money to make things happen.
Right.
We had to figure out how to do it. We were like everybody else. We took out a home equity loan. We maxed every credit card that we had. We paid them by sorting from 0% interest to 0% interest.
Yeah.
No lie.
No,
the
I
first 2
know.
years were tough.
Yeah.
And Cryocon was instrumental in propelling us to that next level 1,000%. I mean, we're sitting back. We went to lunch with people. We're going to lunch with them. We're going to lunch with them. And we just found them and sat down.
Well, you went to lunch with me too.
We did go to lunch with you. You know we did. Absolutely. And we're like, he is close to us. We can even go see him.
Yes, you can. And what did I do? I welcome you guys with open doors.
Absolutely.
man.
did.
A
And
thousand
everybody
percent.
did it.
Yeah,
Everyone
and that's
was so sweet.
that's the community.
Yeah.
So to go from $17,000 to $175,000 in a month,
Yeah.
you have to know how humbling that is.
Yeah.
Was that ever in our dreams? We thought if we made $175,000 in a year, that was going to be just wow, phenomenal.
Yeah.
So we are just as humbled and thankful for what we've been able to do, and thankful to all the people to help propel us there as well.
And now let's talk about that, because you know what? We talked about business, and we think the next question is about our leisure time. We have to balance. That's the biggest thing that we see a lot of business owners, including myself, that all we did was, me personally, all I did was work.
Yeah.
You know, and it hurt my family. You know,
Yes.
so you know, and now it's like at the point where I'm like, you know what? I'm sorry. When I say I'm not in the office on Wednesdays and Thursdays, don't text me, don't call me, because if you do, you're going to get the wrong side of me, because I told you these are the 2 days that I like to not have any work. So let's talk about your leisure time. What do you guys like to do for your leisure time?
So we love to golf.
Yeah.
Love to golf. We take golf lessons together. We golf twice a week together. She's getting better. She wants to answer her phone. Her watch is going off. I don't know how she plays.
I got rid of that for a reason.
I tried to get her to give it to me, but she wouldn't. So I would say, "Who's texting you right now?" So she would tell me, and then later on, I'd say, "Who's texting you?" It'd be the same person. I would text that person and say, "Quit texting her."
Yeah.
Right. And so she needs to shut down. We also do lots of traveling. We go on cruises. We have a 14-day RV trip coming up this summer.
Oh, that's
and
awesome.
we're so excited about it. But we work too. We take our laptop. We take our phones. But we have the most amazing team. We just promoted one of our girls that started with us from the beginning. She's 22. Her name is Sydney. She is a godsend to us. She's our new operations manager, and she has it.
Nice.
She has
No,
it.
because you learned it from the best.
Yeah, she has it.
That's what she says, but we're like, no, you
And
came
then
with it.
our other managers are just so good, and so we have this team that we trust. And quite frankly, they usually do better when we're not there than when we are there. So
And I know you guys done a great job with that, because like when I was getting the podcast interview list going, I talked to one of your ops manager, and she's like, "Well, you can contact them via email. Here's their email." I'm like, "No. I'm contacting you. You get their schedule, and this and that," because I'm like, you know what? We're not going to mess that trend. You've got a perfect thing going. Let's keep it that way. Because I'll call you guys if I'm driving down
Absolutely.
I-4.
Oh, yeah.
I'll always
I
call you.
love
I'll be
that
like,
text
I'm
message.
like, hey, just driving down Death Row Alley and just want to say hi.
And
Because I-4.
Paul and I are driving to the golf course at the same time. I'm like, guess where Fernando is? He goes, at the golf course? I'm like, no, he's driving down the I-4 waving at us.
we wave back.
We went back. I'm like, hey. Because I'll go visit, when I go visit my son, he's in Orlando, I have to go right by there. And I'm like, hey, it's Auburndale. Hey. And I'm like, so.
Best message of the day that day,
That's
for
it's
sure.
likewise. So, all right, well, let's go ahead. We're going to come to a close here, but is there anything any advice you can give to anybody right now with things, if, like with Cherry, if you guys have a certain code that they can use to sign up for Cherry or something, go ahead. Let us know.
Yeah. So, and I thought about this too. Whenever you said that, is for us, we have mentors, right? We have more than one mentor.
Yep.
And we have a lot of relationship with a lot of business owners. And so I learned a long time racing hydroplanes. If you send your same motor to be done by the same guy, you're never going to be the best. Never. And so I learned to seek outside of who everyone else was going to. And you see me doing that in this industry. It's the same model. And I find that I get better because I'm not doing what everybody else is doing. I'm trying to innovate.
Right.
And so I'll take a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here. So that would be my suggestion the most. But as far as plug, for me, it's just God first.
Yeah,
always,
roger that.
and it always will be. But I'm just thankful for His glory and His blessings, and I'm thankful for Terri. But for us, and you can attest to this, I see men running centers. I don't know how they do it without the wife helping them, because she is the face of our company, and she is amazing at what she does. But we both said it last night to ourselves. We couldn't do this without each other.
Yeah. And it's very true you say that. I mean, me with my wife, she's a nurse practitioner. She's now the face of the company. I stepped back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I took a step back, and I'm like, you know what? It's you.
Yeah.
It's you.
Yeah,
You
because
know,
that's who
so-
the women want to see when they come in, and that's
Exactly.
who they're going to relate
They don't want
to.
to see my ugly mug.
They
so.
just don't. They just don't. They're not there for you.
Honestly, Mr. Paul, as they all call him, breezes through to fix things.
Yep.
Yeah,
They're
I'm the
like,
maintenance
oh,
man.
Mr. Paul, this is broken, whatever. Yeah, I think my biggest advice is don't be too hard on yourself.
Yeah.
We all over expect, and we will fall short on days, and it's okay. I have those breakdown moments, and I'm like, I'm just failing at everything today.
Yeah.
And it's because I didn't get it's home life too.
Yeah.
Okay. Laundry's not done. I have no plan for dinner. Don't even care if I fix dinner. Honestly, I hate to cook, by the way.
I care.
Hate to cook. He cares, though. So you just kind of stack and load all those things, especially as a woman in the business. And then if you feel failure when you go in to do your work and your job, you're not set up for success that day. So let it go. Do what you can. I can tell you, buy time. I buy time. I pay for a laundry service. It's $20 a week, ladies. They will pick it up, wash it, fold it, put it back on your front door, and you just have to put it away.
Yeah.
Best $20 I spend a week. Took off all that stress. Helps me do my job better.
Yeah.
Now I'm not thinking I need to run home, throw a load of wash in the washer machine, make sure I get it in the dryer, and at least it's there.
Right.
Right? So don't be so hard on yourself. Take one thing at a time.
Learn to delegate, right?
Yeah, delegate duties, delegate responsibilities, rely on your partner. When you're having a day, I've woke up and I've looked at him and I said, I'm not in a good place today. I just need you to know.
Yeah.
Just need you to know. And just him knowing that helped me put me in a better place because I'm like, I don't really have to be in a bad place today. I'm good. So there's highs, there's lows. Enjoy the highs. Work hard on the lows to bring yourself back up.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, it's going to be good.
Awesome.
It's going to be good.
Awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast. Again, this is Fernando with the CryoCeo podcast, coming to you from Cryocon 2024. You hit some key things, and I appreciate it. And you guys are awesome.
Thank
You're
you.
awesome
being
too.
here.
We appreciate you,
I
brother.
love you, man.
Thank you. I love you too, guys. All right.
Thanks.